Dear students, welcome to continue the chapter of the hormonal coordination. From the last time we studied the introduction and how they discover the hormone. Today we're going to start with the parathyroid hormones and other hormones inside our body and the master or pituitary gland and its secretions and its hormones. Let's go down in our lesson today. Hormones of the adenohypophysis or the anterior lobe of the master or pituitary gland. Master gland, as we said in the last episode, or pituitary gland, consists of two main parts, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. And today we're going to study the hormones of anterior lobe or adenohypophysis. We're going to start with the growth hormone. And growth hormone, we need to know the function of growth hormone and disorder of secretion during childhood. Disorders mean increasing or decreasing, or hyposecretion or hypersecretion. And also the disorder of secretion in adults that may cause the sister disease. And finally, we need also to know the pituitary trophins, or the group of hormones that affect the activity and secretion of the other glands, and they are includes, as we're going to study, TSH, ACT, H, and also gonadotrophic hormones. Let's start and to know the meaning of growth hormone and its function inside our body, which is what it controls metabolism, especially protein synthesis, and according to it controls the physical growth of the body. Well, growth hormone, its function, as we said, it controls the metabolism, especially protein synthesis, and controls the physical growth of the body. And what else? Actually, the disorder that may happen of increasing or decreasing of the growth hormone in childhood, only in childhood, okay? Hyposecretion, it's mean what? Decreasing in the secretion of the growth hormone. Again, hypo, it's mean decreasing, okay? A little amount of secretion of this hormone inside the body during the childhood. That causes what? Dwarfism. Yes, it causes dwarfism. The person, it looks like a very short in his body. But what about the hyper secretion or increasing of secretion of the growth hormone also during childhood? Okay, don't remember this point. We have a great difference between the disorder of secretion during a childhood and the secretion or disorder of secretion during the in adult. Again, hyposecretion causes dwarfism, while hypersecretion, it causes another disease which is called what? Gigantism. Again, the person, he looks like a very giant with large bones and so on. Disorder of secretion in adults. Well, we have only the hypersecretion, and that causes the acromegaly. What does it mean, acromegaly? Actually, acromegaly, it has some symptoms and they are very clear. Again, they happen by increasing or hypersecretion of the growth hormone during the adult, okay? When you are already, you are in adult, not in childhood, okay? From these symptoms are the symptoms of acromegaly. It characterized by increasing in the growth of bone and extremity or extremities. I mean the bones of arms and enlargements of hands, feet, fingers, and bones of the face. Simply that causes something called face deformation. That causes what? Yeah, bone face deformation under the effect of the increasing of secretion of this hormone. After that, we have a group of hormones. They are called pituitary trophins. They are called what? Pituitary trophins. Pituitary trophins, they are a group of hormones that affect the activity and secretion of the other glands. And they include what? Thyrotrophins. They include thyrotrophins, and it's mean what? It means thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH. And also we have adrenocorticotropic hormone, or ACTH, which affects the function of suprarenal, or the cortex of the adrenal gland. The last one is gonadotropic hormones, which affect, from its name, the functions of gonads, which is ovaries in female and testes in males. And actually, gonadotropic hormone includes the follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH, and it has an important function which affects the growth of the ovarian follicle and formation of Graafian follicles in female. And also it has an important function in formation of seminiferous tubules and spermatozoa and prostagland in male. And also prolactin hormone, okay, which stimulates the formation of and stimulating of the milk, delivering of the milk. Also we have luteinizing hormone, which stimulates the formation of corpus luteum in females, and formation and secretion of interstitial cells in the testes of males. We have also some hormones such as, and for your information, you to know that FSH and LH, they are important for sexual maturity because they are responsible for secretion of male and female sex hormones. And as we said, the function of prolactin, to remind you, it stimulates milk formation and secretion from mammary glands, which is breasts, and secretion of hormones of progesterone from corpus luteum. And those are the, as we said before, FSH, FSH, luteinizing hormone, LH, and adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH. And the FSH hormone, it has an important function because it affects the growth of the ovarian follicle and formation of Graafian follicle, as we said, and also formation of seminiferous tubules or spermatozoa and prostaglands also in male. While the luteinizing hormone, which is LH, it has important function in stimulates the formation of corpus luteum in female, and also formation and secretion of interstitial cells in the testes of male. And it also to know that, as we said, that FSH and LH has an important function for sexual maturity because they are responsible for secretion of male and female sex hormones. Important functions also for the hormone of the neurohypophysis or posterior loop of the this is a summary for what did we say here, the follicle stimulating to stimulate production of sperms and ova, luteinizing hormone that trigger or start the ovulation in female and stimulate the testosterone production in male, adrenocorticotropic hormones that stimulate the adrenal cortex to secrete hormones, while luteinizing hormone or LH, as we said, it has an important function for because it stimulates the formation of corpus luteum in females. we're going to study the meaning of corpus luteum in the third chapter or the next chapter. Also, it has an important function in the formation and secretion of interstitial cells in the testes of male. They are responsible for formation of sperms. And also, for your information, you need to know that, as we said, FSH and LH, luteinizing hormone, they have important function for sexual maturity, because they are responsible for secretion of male and female sex hormones. And what about the prolactin, as we said, and as we show it in the movie? Yes, it has an important function because it stimulates, it gives a power for the milk formation and secretion from mammary glands or from breasts. And also the secretion of the hormone, which is progesterone, from the corpus luteum. What about the hormones of the neurohypophysis, or the other part and other loop of the master gland or the pituitary gland? Well, we have a group of hormones here in our lesson. Well, starting with that, there are two hormones that are secreted from the nerve cells in the hypothalamus and reach the neurohypophysis, or from posterior loop of pituitary gland. The two hormones they are through the infundibulum, and after which they are secreted to the bloodstream. The two hormones here that we have, or one of two hormones, is called ADH, or antidiuretic hormone, or vasopressin. Well, just to know what does it mean, the antidiuretic hormone and its function, and the other one. Well, the ADH, or the antidiuretic hormone, it has an important function because it increases the reabsorption of water from the kidney tubules. As you know that kidney, it consists of a tiny tubules. Okay, we studied them in the last year, and they need from time to time for reabsorption the water that enters and get in and gets out to the kidney. And also it has an important function in the decreasing the volume of urine that excreted. The last point here, it increases the blood pressure. Increases what? The blood pressure. What about the other hormone, which is called oxytocin? So the neurohypophysis or posterior loop, it secretes two hormones, ADH, antidiuretic hormone, and oxytocin. The other one, which is oxytocin, it has an important functions because it affects the uterine contraction and increasing it during delivery or during labor. I mean the process of delivering baby. It has an important function to increase the contraction and relaxation of the uterus of mom to deliver the baby outside the body. Okay, and after that we have an extra information here, but it's very nice for you. You have to know that the scientists of gynecology or gynecologists, they use this hormone in what? They use it for two reasons. Number one, to accelerate the birth of baby. By what? By stimulating strong contraction of uterus or uterine muscles. And also the oxytocin hormone stimulates the release of milk from mammary glands with the beginning of lactation, or the milk letting hormone. After that, we're going to talk about the thyroid gland. In each gland we need to know the location and structure and the function. Well, thyroid gland, it locates and lies in the neck, in front of the neck and in close to and contact with the trachea. Its color slightly red as it appears in the picture, and its structure consists of two loops. They are connected together by a port, okay, and it's also surrounded by a connective tissue. From the most function of the thyroid gland, it secretes calcitonin hormone, which decreases the calcium level in the blood. By what? By decreasing its release from bones and prevents its absorption from the bones again. And also, it secretes the thyroxine hormone, and the iodine is essential for formation of the hormone. But we have some disorders that may happen as a result of increasing or decreasing of the thyroxine hormone. One of them is goiter, which is enlargement of the thyroid gland associated with the abnormal activities of the gland. And thyroid gland diseases, it causes by increasing or decreasing of secretion, which is called hypothyroidism. Called what? Hypothyroidism, decreasing the secretion, while hyperthyroidism, which increasing in the secretion. And also the hypersecretion, it has a different, while the hyposecretion or hypothyroidism, decreasing in the secretion of the thyroxine hormone from the gland, and that causes the simple goiter, and its main reason the iodine deficiency in food, water, and air. But how can we treat this case? Actually involves administration of iodine supplements in food. While hypothyroidism in children and in adults. In children, we call it cretinism, and it's characterized by retardation in physical and mental growth associated with a large head, short, and neck, and also permanent mental retardation and delay in sexual maturity. While in case of adults, it causes myxedema, and this is characterized by a dry skin, loss of hair, decreasing mental and physical activity, gaining a lot of weight, and also decreasing the heartbeats and rapid of heartbeats, and increase the pumping of heartbeats. And as it shows the goiter, or simple goiter, it has also some symptoms for the simple goiter. So we can use diagnosis for hyperthyroidism or in the hypothyroidism. As in hyperthyroidism, it shows the exophthalmic goiter that causes the enlargement of the gland with protrusion of the eyeballs, and these reasons, the main reason is the hypersecretion or increasing of the gland, which is hyperthyroidism. Actually, the hypersecretion of thyroxine leads to increasing the food oxidation and metabolic rates, loss of weight, increases in heartbeats and nervous. Thyroid gland, where it locates, its location, it lies in front of the neck, close to and contact with the trachea, and its color, as we show in the movie, is a slightly red. Slightly what? Slightly red. And what about the structure? Well, it consists of two loops. They are connected together by a part called isthmus, and also we need to know that it's surrounded by a connective tissue, a type of tissue. Its main function, it secretes calcitonin hormone, secretes two hormones, okay? One of them is secretes calcitonin hormone, which decreases, it has an important function of decreasing the calcium level in the blood. But how does it work? because it decreases the releasing of calcium bone and from bone, and also prevents its absorption from the bones. And also it secretes thyroxine hormones. And to learn more about it, you have to know that iodine is essential for formation of this hormone. What about the importance of thyroxine on different parts of the body? Number one, it affects and stimulates physical and mental growth and development. And here this is the shape of the thyroid gland that lies in front of the trachea and consists of two loops. And what else from the importance of thyroxine on different parts of the body? It affects the basal metabolic rate, and also it increases the absorption of carbohydrates, or the fundamental units of the carbohydrate, which is glucose, from the small intestine. The last piece of information here, which is it maintains healthy skin and hair. So it affects and stimulates physical and mental growth and development. It affects the basal metabolic rate. It increases the absorption of glucose from the small intestine, and also it maintains the healthy skin and hair. Well, we have here the disorder of increasing or increasing or decreasing the thyroxine hormone. One of those disorders, which is goiter. It is enlargement of the thyroid gland associated with the abnormal activities of the gland. The disease of the thyroid gland, the diseases are caused by increases or decreases the secretion of thyroxine hormone. And as we said, increasing its mean hyper, while decreasing its mean hypo. Okay, and because we are talking about the thyroid gland, so we have here the hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. Okay, well, hypothyroidism, it's mean what? It's mean decreasing, okay, or deficiency in the secretion of the thyroid hormone. So hypothyroidism, it is the decreases in the secretion of the thyroxine hormone from thyroid gland. That causes what? Disease which is called a simple goiter. Causes what? Disease called a simple goiter. Its reason and how can we treat it? Its reason, it occurs as a result of iodine deficiency in foods, water, and also in air. How can we treat it? Actually, hypothyroidism, we can treat it by involves administration of iodine. I mean to increase the amount and supplement of iodine in food in your daily life. Well, the hypothyroidism, it divided into two parts, in children, as we said, and also in adults. Hypothyroidism in children. Number one, it causes a disease which is cretinism. Well, the cretinism is characterized by a very specific symptoms for the children. Number one, the retardation. Number one, retardation in physiological and mental growth, and also associated with a large head and short neck, and also the permanent mental retardation, and finally that causes delay in the sexual maturity. Those are the symptoms or the disease disorder that happens to the children as a result of hyposecretion of the thyroxine gland, which is hypothyroidism in children. But on the other side, what gonna be happen for the adults? it causes another disease, okay? In adults, it causes something called myxedema, which characterized by, number 1, dry skin, loss of hair, and decreasing the mental and physical activity, and also gaining weight and obesity. Obesity means to be overweight. The obesity means overweight. And also decreasing the basic metabolic intolerance. And finally, decreasing the heartbeat and rapid vegetability. If you want to know how can we treat the hypothyroidism in adults, by a regular consultation of specialists, doctor, and by administration of thyroxine or gland extracts. We have here a picture to show us the hyperthyroidism. On the other side, we have what? The hyper, as we said, hyperthyroidism. It means increasing in the secretion of the thyroxine hormone, the enlargement of the thyroid gland associated with abnormal activities of the gland. Our disease is called, or disorder, exophthalmic goiter. So the first one, it was simple goiter, okay, while the other one is called yes, exophthalmic goiter, okay. This is the symptom of exophthalmic goiter, which enlargement of the exophthalmic goiter that causes what? Enlargement of the gland with protrusion of the eyeballs, because, or its main reason, as a result of hypersecretion or increasing of secretion of the gland, which is hyperthyroidism, enlargement of the gland with protrusion of the eyeballs. What else? It reason, as we said, the hyper or increasing in the secretion of the gland. This is called hyperthyroidism. And what about the hypersecretion of thyroxine that causes what? 3 points. Number 1, hypersecretion of thyroxine that causes or lead to increasing in food oxidation and the metabolic rate, and also loss of weight, okay. The last one, it was obesity, while here we have what? Loss of weight, and also the increasing in the heartbeat and nervous irritability. The person will be very tense and very nervous. How can we treat this disease, or the hypersecretion of the thyroxine gland? We can treat it, the treatment, by a surgical removal of a part of the gland, or by the use of the other medications to suppress the gland. Finally, I hope you get more information about the pituitary gland, or the master gland, and the hormone that's secreted by anterior and posterior lobe, which is adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. I need you to study hard this part, and see you the next time. Thank you.